to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Cocaine.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut
moralists.
us up.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No,
At
they're
the end
worse
of
than
August.
animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hello. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
folks.
Good evening.
Everybody's here. Plus, we have a special guest today.
Okay, let me introduce y'all to my boy, foreign man in a foreign land. That foreign land is the Bahamas. We are from the same island. This is my personal friend.
What y'all saying?
There you go.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
gonna be a very Bahamian night. I just want y'all to know. This is going to be a very Bahamian night.
I'm gonna try to keep the accent as gentrified as possible so that y'all can understand me at least. But that's the most that I will concede. By the way, I need one of them like up yours intros. I was jamming the whole time. Like,
Now you appreciate intros. You was trying to gut my own.
What? It's been like literally 2 minutes and you already trying to air all my laundry out. Lord, I've been telling listen, one thing about your favorite Alimi over here is she will die over that little flippy O that she have in the introduction. The big O for the Illuminati. Oh my God, she will die on that hill.
Listen, I will. Anything else, any and all feedback foreign give me, I take every single thing. I take notes. The minute he said something about my I was like, now look in here, look here. We have to stand for something. You have to have principles. Don't play with me. Don't bother with my O. I can tell you right now, it ain't happening.
Oh,
so, yeah. And that was a long intro, and you won't jam in.
Yeah, that was a long intro, but I ain't gonna lie, like that should go hard. Like, I mean, they cut in all I was jamming.
It's also a long podcast. Like, I feel like the longer the video, it's okay to have a long intro. So if you have like a 2-hour, 3-hour podcast, a minute intro is fine.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Oh, Lord, we gonna have some hot takes on here. I could already feel it. Big up yourself. I appreciate you all having me on. I hope that you all won't regret it. I had fun with Lance yesterday. That was like the warm-up. That was the foreplay for what is the Leftist Mafia. So, here we are for, like another time. You're getting back to back to back. I feel like, what it is? Terminator? Is it Terminator? Not Terminator. What it is, Alimi. Shit, what the movie is, man.
First of all, somebody said in the comments, I'm so fried, and I like zoned out into another world thinking about it, which I think confirms it because you said my name just now, and I was like, right, show. So all I heard was Terminator, but I don't know what Joe was talking about.
Oh my God, y'all done mess up. Y'all got both of us on the same podcast at the same time. Lord of His mercy, bless you all.
I don't want to talk too much today because I took today off, so I have like no idea what's going on right now. There's like a lot of news around Tennessee. I will get to it, but I'm really confused about all the news today.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. We'll get to it all though. I did not take today off, regrettably, and so I have the deeds. I know that Blair was talking about it beforehand too, but yeah, there's a lot of really fucked up dystopian stories. So yeah.
I'm just distracted by the description of going on Lance's show as foreplay. I'm really.
You had to bring that back. I thought I was going to let that slide.
I'm happy you did. Well, no, because I wanted to mention what you said at the end of our conversation, which it was awesome, by the way. I had so much fun. You were like, we just spoke for I think like an hour and a half, and like there was no cancel culture. There was no like I overstepped my bounds, you overstepped your bounds. We talked about difficult topics. I'm sure we're all over the place, but it was just a wonderful conversation. You know, we were just trying to like. I totally agree with your take that like people who think that like, oh, you can't say anything on live internet anymore. You'll be canceled instantly by the people. It's like it's ridiculous. You know, if you're in good faith having a great conversation about something, even if you're not like maybe directly in that group or something, the other people know, right? Like there's no malice.
Yeah, like
awesome.
it's exaggeration, but I think what it mostly is, more times than not, the people that are claiming that you can't talk and that they're being censored are the people that really feverishly are like brick hard, diamond hard, like literally could cut through cheese how hard they are because they want to say the N-word. They want to say the N-word. They want to say the trans women aren't women. They want to say all the things like that you normally say quiet. They want to say that out loud, like with their whole diaphragm. And the problem is that in civil society, the Lockean, social contract that we have today, like you can't say fire in a crowded theater. You have to, even if you're saying them things, like you have them things inside your head, you could disabuse yourself of that. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna invalidate someone's experience, which if you follow, the surfs, if you follow any of y'all been retweeting just basically rage bait for me. Every time when I open up Twitter, I just look and the surfs is the first thing I see. And it's just
Lance is always deep into it. Yeah.
Me going hard on in the meme wars. I feel that's my best contribution though. Like even my enemies acknowledge that. Like the nicest compliment I've ever had is like, Lance, I don't like your politics, but I follow you for the woke lulz. I was like, that's kind of wholesome, Like, okay.
For anyone that doesn't know your YouTube channel, do you want to talk about what you do there and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I be forgetting, I ain't gonna lie. Foreign man on the foreign land, my big envy them, woman them, and man them. I basically use my political science masters to disabuse people of their bigotry as I am disabusing myself of mine. I think that's one of the things that people enjoy about the foreign land, which is that I don't perform perfect leftism by any means, not because like I think I'm above it, but because I'm a terrible actor at that. I have jumped in front of all of the different phobias and isms that I have been authors of, whether it be homophobia, I wasn't even on transphobia. In the Bahamas, like we ain't even on the transphobia yet. We still dealing with sexism. So like, there's steps, there's levels, there's steps to bigotry, So I mean like, we ain't even there yet. But we getting there. But things about growing up as a Caribbean conservative and then, not like hard C, but like lowercase c, socio-conservatism. In the Bahamas, we enjoy our welfare system. So not fiscally conservative, but like...
The Bahamas is very conservative. Incredibly conservative. Like, do not be mistaken. Very conservative. Like, and like highly xenophobic and very Puritan about what is a Bahamian, who is a Bahamian, who counts as a Bahamian. Like, I did not count. Born and raised in the Bahamas, I count now because my people love me. I claimed it right in the public space. But growing up, no, so you are African. The African name. Why your parents name you that?
I don't know, Ola. The way you're describing it, arguing over who is a real Bahamian, that sounds a lot like leftists. Who's the real leftist? You're not a real leftist.
Trust me.
Oh,
Bahamians, they give it a while. And Bahamians are very like, it's not how like the conservatives in America, the right, are very corny. Like their jokes are not good. Their attacks don't make no sense. You know what I mean? No, Bahamians are very funny and very disrespectful. And so it's you can't beat them. You can't beat them in the overwhelming majority. You can't even try. It's so hard. I tell Ford, I'm like, it's much, much harder to be an advocate like this at home, because the answer is you don't get tired of talking shit. Oh, okay. That's what you give a whole dissertation. Payments to be like, what the fuck she think reading that? Or like, they just none of that. You thought you was smart, girl? Shut up.
And we can't even do credit to it. And it's like it's a Caribbean thing in the sense that it is across the entirety of the region to varying degrees. But let me not be mistaken. it was endowed to us. We inherited our bigotry. You know, we are not authors of it. We make it good. We are adept at our bigotry. Like, mind you, our bigotry is hit. American bigotry has fallen off. Y'all ain't getting too creative when it comes. North American bigotry, taking like the peak of North American bigotry was probably like 2016, like Trump Factory, Rush Limbaugh. We talked about it yesterday. Like, them fellas was in their bag with their bigotry. Like, they knew what they were saying. They were on point with the messaging. The left needs to do better with the messaging. However, in the Bahamas, we make bigotry funny. That shit hits. Like, I talking about it stings and like. Yeah, you know, and the point is,
does that make it more dangerous? Is it
yes, because Rodney Munka is a national treasure. Yes, yes, because we have like, oh my God, I wish y'all could see Rodney Munka. Like he in a different lifetime, he should be like the greatest comedian of all time. But unfortunately, he's someone steering the minds of the people. But Rodney Munka, he'll get up and say stuff like. I'm
sorry.
You know, so you know what? I hang a mark. I just thought about it and I heard myself try to repeat Rodney and I said I'm getting canceled.
But you can't say it. All it takes is for one person to clip that and they can say Alimi said that,
right.
Like boom, right. That's it.
But he's so funny. Like there's this okay, let me give you an example. So there's a newspaper in the Bahamas called the Tribune. It's run by a bunch of white people. And then, so anyway, there was a hurricane, and they both published two newspapers published article, and it said unlivable. One say unlivable, and one spell it wrong. And like he said over here it says unlivable. Over here. It says, oh my God, I am so embarrassed. The white people, them unliveable. Oh my God, I am so saddened. I am so saddened. How you get this wrong? Oh my God, Jesus, the white people from England.
We deep throat the boot of like white supremacy. Like the thing is, I fled Iowa. I did my my political science. Whole tertiary education in Iowa. I know. Don't say it. And like the whole fact of the matter is like I tried to leave. I had to flee the country. Not because like I had warrants or anything like that, as the right would want you to believe, but because I was just drowning in a sea of white. Like I was like blinded by the white. I had to bust one of these. Like, you know, like when you go outside first thing in the morning and it's just that white. It's bright outside, and like I have to do one of them. Like that was me, and I was just like, I can't take this shit no more. There ain't no seasoning on the food. Everybody, like, I get followed at Best Buy. Fuck it. No, I'm gone. I'm out of here. So like, I go back home, I eat some conch salad, drink a Kalik, and then the person next to me looks just like me. I like, how I go, brother? It's nice to see you. And he's just like, you know. Them gay people over in the States, man, they could burn in hell. I'm just like, bro, I just got here.
No, wait. I just dog.
Oh my God.
And like the Bahamas will literally like, you don't understand how bad it is. Like, you don't understand when it's the majority. Like our newspaper will say it like, so like, and I like that's crazy, but it'll be like, gay person is killed in the article. The headline will be like, I can't say the word, go into hell. Like that'll be the headline. That'll be the headline. Like.
And that's the problem. Like it and like it looks like you. So the white supremacy, the colonialism, it looks like you. It's familiar, and it has the panoply of being, you know, melanin. So like it's one thing for me to like try to fight white supremacy that looks like Donald Trump. I could speak to the choir in the States as far as just like having a leftist community and saying, you know, yeah, like progressive values, whatnot. When I come home. And I, you know, see on a regular basis an exorbitant amount of bigotry. How do you address it? Because it's not like it's white folks doing it. It's the racial dynamic is gone. So it's just internalized misogyny, internalized homophobia, Puritan values, like Olami was saying. And I've kind of like changed it around. So I fled Iowa to get away from the bigotry, just to realize that now I'm getting it, and it just looks like me at this point. So, I mean,
I'm curious because, like, in the U.S., there's a lot of things intertwined with the bigotry, white supremacy certainly, but a lot of it also stems from like evangelicism and like this religious fundamentalism. Is that a component of the Bahamas?
Bahamas is constitutionally Christian, and if you let it, and this is how we say it. This is how you have to say it. this a Christian nation.
Okay.
That's how you have to say it. Bahamians are constitutionally Christian, religionary school. Everything is every single thing. Like the whole.
Okay.
The whole, yeah. So, we have a Christian council. That is the worst thing.
Oh my God.
I personally believe the Christian council is one of the worst things in the Bahamas, me personally. And I don't know if you remember, if you experienced this as a child, Foreign, but I remember when we had to lobby to get Harry Potter in the movie theaters. Like, I remember.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy now, given like Roland's politics. It's amazing. Like, we were trying to get her.
Turns out the Christian Council was right.
That was a big thing. I remember I had to go to my Grammy for the whole presentation. I was like, Grammy, check this out. I'm like, you know how all the fairy tales is just the battle of good and evil? She's like, yeah, same thing. Oh, you wanted something, you want, but I had to petition her. And that's the only reason. Try to change the tides because the Christian Council wasn't having it. The Christian Council is, I remember when they they had everybody thinking the Furbies was possessed by you remember
I remember these stories about Furbies being possessed and like demonic or something.
Listen, don't let Bahamians hear anything like that. They already think something in the water in the States, okay? They heard that and I've never got a Furby to this day. I remember that. I remember my Grammy reading that like Bible. The Christian Council, they holding us back. They're holding us back.
To be fair, though, I think that they were right about Furbies being demonic. There is something inherently evil about Furbies that I can't explain. They're just very creepy.
Probably right. I myself am scared of dolls, so I wouldn't want a Furby in my house at this. Yeah, but no way. The Christian Council, despicable. A despicable bunch.
They came out. We had a referendum that was basically this encapsulates it perfectly. We had a referendum not recently, this was like 10 years ago, and they essentially were saying if women could pass on citizenship to their children.
It was when I was in college. I remember this.
Citizenship right now is patrilineal. So like if I, a Bahamian man, have a child with an American woman, then the child will be Bahamian. If a Bahamian woman,
But if I have a child with an American man, the child ain't gonna be Bahamian.
It could be born in the Bahamas.
Sexism still.
Listen, Bahamas don't play. But you have to understand how deeply embedded the Bahamas is in our bigotry. We ain't like in the States, like how y'all could all this free talk about it. No. Okay? We had a referendum to change that, and like I graduated college in 2015, so like 2014. Bahamians, women included, overwhelmingly voted to keep it. Bahamians still regularly debating marital rape on a day-to-day basis, and
oh my God!
But you don't understand. When I go back home, my head is spin. I be like, Lord, like the whole time I'm in the States, I'm like, oh, Bahamian. Like, oh my God.
As soon as you get down, they say, allow me, you so popular, you got all these platforms, you doing good. Where the child come in though? When my baby come in? Where
Loan's foolishness. So you feel like you just gonna keep saying all them things in the States? All them gay stuff they used to be talking about?
What your parents think of that?
Oh, they stopped my daddy in the bank. Oh my God.
No way.
But this is what my daddy said the other day. My daddy said the woman in the bank was like, you need to tell your daughter to be careful, saying all that stuff. And my daddy was like, do not worry about my daughter. She has been in the States for a long time. She has been there. Trust me. She knows. The States is not like the Bahamas. Like, she can say what she wants. Big blowout. All the time. They always saying things. Even my own great aunt just be like, oh, still with the blackity black stuff.
Oh my God.
Literally, I made a video about combating Caribbean homophobia, even my own. I got death threats and I got disowned by half of my cousin. I was like, fuck y'all ain't doing nothing.
Oh my God.
I was just like, literally, just for me. And that's the reason why, like, I did this shit. Because like I was just like, okay, I want to get out ahead of this, and I know that my language, the homophobia is so built in that as I began to get a platform, I realized I was just like, I'm probably gonna slip up and say some very homophobic shit. So like, let me get ahead of this and just address this up front. It was not like for the solicitude of people. It wasn't because I was a good person or altruism. It was because I know I'm a dumbass and I will say some dumb shit. So like, I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me just talk about it because I want to rid myself of this. I want to get better. I'm a recovering homophobe. So like, I was just like, okay, let me talk about it. And I just said, I was never cartoonishly homophobic, but like things like saying you like man. Is basically like, we say that like, so casually.
You know that Candyman when she on no, and I remember do not address that on This American. You leave stuff like him. You leave it alone.
I'm saying some things that I should not be able to say because literally it just takes one Bahamian inside this chat and like it's an APB on my house, like legit, like.
No, you leave that alone. Next question.
But like for real, like it's like casual things inside our verbiage, inside of locution. So like it wasn't saying like that it's gay. It's basically saying that whatever you're doing, I don't like, so I'm equating it to being gay. And I said basically how that language in itself breeds an environment that makes it difficult for people who are queer or may not even know that they're queer, and people may not be out. And even though you're not saying it maliciously, it's still malicious in effect. And when I made that video, I literally got a message from my dad. My dad is literally in the government. And he's just like, son, my secretary just brought this to my attention. What are you doing? I thought you were studying law.
Oh my God.
And from then on, like I got cousins and everybody saying, very big in the Christian, like using the protection of Christianity, saying, Sodom and Gomorrah, this Bahamas. It's gone to the dogs. The Christian values that we founded this great nation on is going away. It's in the vaccine. Literally, we have people people talking about the vaccine still, saying that they're waiting.
That's Rodney Costa too. Rodney Costa too. He cost
Rodney is our Trump, kind of.
Yeah, he's our. But Rodney's so funny though. Like he way funnier than he ain't Trump, but he funny. Rodney funny. Hold on. You keep talking about it. Probably one of my favorite Rodney clips. Y'all move on. Y'all just take the show before we turn this into a David hour.
Please.
Yeah, talk about it.
I'm sorry.
This is really interesting though, because I had no idea about like the social conservatism, and it is hard to like deprogram yourself because I grew up in like the church, and it was like I was brainwashed from a very young age. So deprogramming yourself like takes so long, and like trying to unlearn all like the bad habits, it's impossible. Like even today, like for me, like I am trying to unlearn like the weird tendencies that I had, like that was embedded in me, like from a child, like these weird stereotypes about gay people being like perverted or overly promiscuous. Like I always try to be like the good gay because I'm like the only one that my family knows. So it's like if I fuck up, then they hate all gay people. That's what's on the line, So it's like, yeah. So it's like, but then again, you try to unlearn that because it's like, no, this is me kind of like internalizing this idea that they think gay people are inherently evil. Well, I'm just a normal person. I shit. I'm just like everyone else, So
I want to bust some nuts.
I shit. I do other things.
Like that's what everyone it's all about. Yeah, and like it's like, and that's so equatable to like the Black experience too, because when like for instance, unfortunately, Jonathan Majors, who like literally like you could stand in 1 second, and then like a week later, all of this shit comes out. And his lawyer is literally out there, basically. I know it later and talk about it before, but like every time, like when I look at it, I was just like, damn, that was the shortest. That 15 minutes of fame was like 10. Like I was just like, god damn, because like I mean, like it just don't make no sense. And the whole fact of the matter is that experience, just by Jonathan Majors being Black and him coming out and doing something like that, then cast an aspersion on just the Black community in general. Definitely Black men. To be a Black man with a beard, it was not a good time on Twitter. I just had to go and say my little part. I say I stand with victims and I execrate this type of culture because if I say anything more, They just say, yeah, you see, you cishet black man with a beard, you wretch of the earth. Like Fanon was talking about you specifically. And that's the thing, like it's a monolith. Like gay folks, queer folks, marginalized experiences, they make it a monolith because that's how they erase culture in general. And by they I mean whiteness. It's a system.
Yeah.
I find I find a Rodney clip. Y'all have to. I sent it to the Leftist Mafia chat so y'all could play just to give you. This is Rodney. Rodney's a clown. He have a media show, but they gone and gave Rodney a position in Parliament, and so the news could ask him, what do you have to say about your critics that say you shouldn't have this position? Go play the video. Play it for the people.
Oh no!
I don't see.
It's still sending. Oh my God! Why don't?
That's Twitter. There's a chat right on screen. It's just Streamlabs. You can send if you have the link through the private chat.
Streamlabs. What you say?
That's God trying to stop you.
The thing we're using right now to stream this, there's a private chat link. If you click there, and then you could post a link in there.
Right.
It's
it's sent. Thank God.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, you uploaded it. Oh, okay.
I sent. Yeah.
David's looking like, goddamn, what is this?
I just got to figure out a way to.
Is this TOS? Like.
Sir, there's no way for me. It's not going full screen, so it's like a little tiny.
What? Why
it's
is it
working
like that? That's oh my God.
Twitter's like it's opening and closing. I don't even know what's happening.
It's Twitter. Like it's broken.
Twitter.
It's irrevocably broken.
Man, why is life like this?
You could hear the audio. I could do. I mean, you just can't see the guy.
You should.
Or barely see him.
You got to get the full effect.
No way. You're getting robbed.
We need visual representation.
You know what? Let me. I want to tweet it because I have to explain to these Americans.
You get off screen and they'll just be like, Alani, you're platforming bigotry. Just be no.
This video. I have this video. This video is in the favorites in my phone for the day I need to truly respond to some controversy. This is my formal, my sole reply for it. I've had this from the minute I ever seen it. I was like, favorited babe. I was like, this man right here, he know how to deal with he know how to handle things.
Oh my God, he's crazy. Mike, you have a beautiful beard, by the way. You too, Matt, and David. But I mean, I'm very partial to Mike's beard because I'm trying to get that girth. You know, that's me. I aspire to have. Just leave the sexual innuendo alone. That's just normal, regular, normal over here.
How do I gotta figure out how to send this to them.
Wait, Mike, we can't hear you, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, you're muted, I think.
Mike's Mike.
Yeah, you're still muted. Yeah, Mike's muted.
It's got to be nope.
Oh, you got censored. Cancel culture. They came from Mike first.
If I send you the video on WhatsApp, can you figure out how to get it seen?
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, do that. That's probably the easiest way.
Lance, when I found out that you had WhatsApp, I was just like, wait, I thought Lance was American. And then like
wait, I don't understand that. Is WhatsApp like a thing that's like not known for Canadians?
It's foreigners. It's for foreigners. Foreigners use WhatsApp.
It's a calling card.
Interesting. Okay.
It's foreign. You're foreign coded at that point. Like if you say something, like if I see WhatsApp on your phone, I know that somehow, some way you're not from America. You're not North American. Well,
WhatsApp is really big especially in like South America. It's huge. WhatsApp.
It's massive. A lot of other parts. India uses WhatsApp more than any other social media, I think, right now.
Same thing in the Bahamas. Yeah.
I feel like Canadians use it though. Like family of mine.
Yeah, you guys are foreigners.
Yeah, you're America lights. You're not in America, okay?
You're not American, so you're foreigners to me.
When I saw that truck rally, I was just like, God damn, they want to be American so bad. Why? Like, I'm just like,
oh, I know. Oh God, I covered that garbage.
We could go off on that for an entire 2 hours. All right, I'm sending it to the chat. You should have it now. David, I converted it into the send space. It should work. You just got to download.
Oh, there we go.
They say.
Wait, Mike, is your mic fixed?
The file has been deleted and cannot be restored.
What?
This is literally. Listen, you're blocking your blessings. Rodney is a menace to society.
Oh, now it's
These are all.
Listen, I think.
This is not working. To stop this from coming out.
I think the Bahamian authorities heard, or they're monitoring the stream. They heard you commend his beard, and they were like, "No, we're not having this. We're cutting this."
No, take that shit off. No, take that down.
I can show
we're
you
cutting his mic. We're breaking the videos.
I've never seen censorship like that. Mike is on. This is crazy.
Here we go. Here you go.
Okay, let's see this.
Okay, hopefully we got it now. Because I just want y'all to get
I'm so scared. Like,
I wish y'all could see our Bahamian politicians. I just should do a compilation. We should make a compilation of like Hubert, Menace, just Menace and Rodney responding to things.
We have, and that's the reason why, like, Cornbread too. Me and Lance were talking about this yesterday. Cornbread too. The melanated equivalent of bread tube is so important because, like, y'all are gonna Shapiro, Peterson, Matt Walsh yourselves to death.
Crowder.
I cannot even control anything here. This is an uploaded video.
They're not saved.
You gotta start it over. Start it over.
I can't. I have no control over this video. It's just like
okay. Well
playing
then,
by itself.
listen.
Hold up.
Here we go.
This is as loud as it can go. I can't do anything about it.
Well, let's just be quiet.
What do you say to people who question why you were given this position?
I think they're not saved, they're not sanctified, and they're not full of the Holy Ghost.
All right.
Oh, he's so fucking unserious. Oh my god,
It's right down to brass tacks, you know.
Listen, Rodney is.
You are not saved.
They said, what do you say to critics who say you should not have been given this appointment? They are not saved. They are not sanctified, and they are not filled with the Holy Ghost.
What do you say to that? That's the point. Like, what do you say to something like that? And that's what we're trying to say. Yeah. Like, it's just you can't beat.
This sounds like a lot of conservatives in America as well. Just different kind of.
Quick question: was the movie? Was the movie There Will Be Blood very popular in both the Bahamas? Because he looks like he's dressed like he's from that movie.
What? That's a skylight going down.
Daniel Day-Lewis right here.
The guy looked like he was about to actually just say, "Hold up on your questions. I just struck oil."
He's a prospect.
Okay, yeah, y'all take over the show before we Bahamian.
Yes, please.
We're sorry.
That was enough of the interlude.
We're sorry for the Bahamian hour.
This is what was gonna happen.
Like,
awesome.
I mean, what are you talking about? Stop. Are you Canadian? Stop apologizing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it worked. Okay.
Mike got it.
I was like, David, let me in. David. I had to text you.
That reminded me. Yeah. All the way down there at the bottom, it's hard to see.
It was like one of those nightmares where you're being like murdered and you're trying to scream, but it's just silence and nobody can hear you.
Or when you wake up and you can't move. That's the worst.
Yeah. That's how I felt like, but I'm back and I feel like I'm alive again. I was saying, Foreign, thank you for the beard compliments. And I think that it's because we're both poli-sci masters that we have an affinity for beards. It's like an appreciation. Like it comes with the scholarliness of us, right?
Oh, okay. I can see clearly now. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely what it is. Now I could see like the jadedness too coming off too. Yeah, the cynicism of science masters. Matt, you look like a political science master's. Honestly, you look like a doctorate. Actually, like you just
me.
Things. Yes, bro, like,
I have never heard anyone describe Matt Binder in that way.
Yeah, neither have I. I went to film school. I got a degree. I got a degree in film. That's it.
I did not know that.
That's amazing.
I did not know that. Where is my light on?
Same here. But well, more focused on broadcast, video production, news production. But yeah,
all of you.
Same with me.
Matt, you look more like the doctor's drug dealer.
That's
damn.
It's I've heard that from a lot of people, and I gotta say, I do look like I am.
In a wholesome way. There's
I mean,
one thing wholesome drug dealer.
You're a wholesome drug dealer.
I look like
there's really baddie mean ones, you know.
I also look like the drug dealer that probably samples too much of his product. I mean, I've been told I look like someone who uses drugs, and the funny thing is, I'm completely straight edge.
You look like you could be the brown version. You look like you could be the brown version of an Avril Lavigne music video love interest in the early 2000s. That's what you.
No, that's very
specific. That's what he looked like, though. That's what he looked like on black. Like you could. You see it. You see it. You see it.
That was a fair call out. Yep.
Damn. I'll be your skater boy.
Yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah.
Actually, speaking of skater boys, we got to get skater video. Their skater adjacent related video. This is so I saw this pop up.
Excellent.
I'm not sure how recent this is, but this is going around now because I've seen a few people show this. Let me bring it up.
Racially
here.
ambiguous love interest. Oh my god. The chat is amazing.
Chat is one of the best parts of this entire thing.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
All right, here it goes.
They're ruthless.
I love.
So I believe this is QAnon shaman.
But, oh my god! No, this is.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, this is money.
Nah, no, you're not.
This is actually a comedian. This is a guy who.
Oh, you ruined it for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Actually him?
No.
No, that's definitely not the QAnon shaman. He actually was just released from jail this past week.
No. I never thought it was the actual one. I thought it was someone dressing up like him.
Someone like the
right. No, it's a comedian from Brooklyn who was doing a skit.
So he didn't actually get hurt.
I mean, I'm sure it hurt. Like just like pro wrestling. I'm sure.
Only funny if it got very badly injured.
I'm thinking he was an actual like MAGA guy.
Yeah. No, he's not a MAGA guy, unfortunately.
I thought he was.
No.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I'm gutted. I watched that video like 4 times in a row, just like crying, laughing at it so hard. And now it's just
the guy did what he set out to do. He's a comedian. He wanted to make you laugh.
Damn, that's true. That's true. I just wanted there's more buy-in there. Like I wanted it to be an actual MAGA chud who fell off of the bike.
The actual funniest thing I saw from there, and this is thanks to Ben Collins from NBC's reporting. You know how Marjorie Taylor Greene was drowned out by everybody blowing these whistles that they had there? Well, it turns out Ben Collins of NBC News, he found the guy who was handing out the whistles, and he was a MAGA guy, a Trump supporter who was there handing them out in order for them to be blown in support of Trump. And he didn't realize he was handing them out to all these people who are anti-Trump.
And he offered Ben Collins one too. Ben Collins was trying to ask him about the whistles. Like, do you want one? It's just so good.
Since you brought up Green, this video will always make me laugh because of how ridiculous this is.
I know shit to go through.
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene's I guess new defense of Trump. Listen to this.
President Trump is joining some of the most incredible people in history being arrested today. Nelson Mandela was arrested. Jesus was arrested and murdered by the Roman government. There have been many people throughout history that have been arrested.
I know she's fucking lying.
By radical governments. And it's beginning today in New York City. And I just can't believe it's happening, but I'll always support him. He's done.
It's just amazing. Donald Trump, Nelson Mandela.
You guys remember Michael Brooks's character, right-wing Mandela? I mean, it's too bad he's no longer with us because he would have had a field day with that one. But did you see the follow-up clip to that, by the way, when the two of them ended their interview?
I don't know if I can
kiss or something?
Yeah, I just posted it in the. Please play it. It's even funnier than that clip.
In the private chat.
Well, David's queuing that up. I'm really sorry, everybody. I have to take off early. I have a appointment I have to go to. Yeah, I'm very sorry. I love all y'all.
Bye,
Lance.
He's an amazing person.
Talk later.
Have an awesome end of podcasting. Oh, and who wants a raid? I'll send my audience to whoever.
Send it to me. I'm on Twitch.
that Twitch thing, like, is so different from YouTube. I don't even know how that thing goes raid. Like, when I first heard that, I was just like, wait, is this good? It's like-
Yeah, when I first went to Twitch, I'm still confused by Twitch. So, but this is the
I
last,
thought that a raid was
seconds.
bad at first because one of my
Yeah,
commenters
so-
was like, "Oh, you just got raided, Mike," and I'm like, "Oh no, what does that mean? Is it like a bunch of Nazis coming in?
That's what
Like,
I
what's
thought,
going
too.
on?"
So, all right. Bye-bye. All right. So, all right.
Yeah, they're dating apparently. So this is kind
What? What?
What type of kiss was that anyway, though? Like mine went for a whole forehead. He missed everything.
all right.
Babe, why this man
Bye-bye.
look just like Brain? Like
All right.
Pinky in the
So-
Brain. Look at his
Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky in the Brain, head ass nigga. It's fucking crazy.
Oh my god, he does look like
First embrace ever. Like,
yeah, uh-huh.
that looks like me when I was in my straight phase kissing my girlfriends. That was weird. That was awkward. That was not normal.
That's like a grand kiss. Like that's like that's so
crazy.
Doesn't make no sense. Like
these people.
This is what you are taught in J school. At the end of an interview, you give the interviewer, you give your subject a smooch.
Normal, regular.
Right.
Is this what you do, Matt, as a journalist?
This is what you do as a journalist, right? Right. I mean, I almost had that. I almost got that interview with Trump, and the real reason I wanted it was to plant a big old smooch on his face. I mean,
get all kind of spray tan on your face. You leave bronze. Like, no, man.
Oh my god. Well, should we talk about the Tennessee situation, because I know a lot of people were commenting, and it's really kind of like crossing the Rubicon in a different way, at least when it comes to fascism. I don't know if anybody wanted to start, or if I know Blair was talking about it, but I can also open as well if you all want.
Feel free to take it away.
Okay, so basically, after the Nashville shooting, there were thousands of protesters, mostly Gen Z activists, that were marching in Tennessee. They marched straight up to the Capitol. They had disrupted a session. And in solidarity with these protesters, there were 3 lawmakers who basically joined them. And they went up to the podium and they started talking about the need for gun control. And because they joined this protest, not even joined, just stood in solidarity with them and uttered positive comments about it, the right is now labeling that as an insurrection. And now they were up for expulsion. Media was pushed out. In fact, Justin Jones, who was expelled, was filming just like the chants from the Gen Z activists outside. And on video, he caught one of his Republican colleagues just straight up assaulting him. It's genuinely insane. They're very brazen, but now one of the 3 have been expelled. I think this is developing, so I'm not sure where we're at currently. And they were literally expelled just for saying that there should be gun control. It's unhinged. Like, I get that the Tennessee Republican Party, they're against gun control. They've kind of gone in the opposite direction and deregulated even further. But this is like next level fascism, and there's a lot of protests right now in Tennessee, and they're chanting "fuck you, fascists," because this is straight up authoritarianism here.
Here's a speech from Justin Pearson, who it was either him who's been expelled or the other Democrat.
Justin Jones was expelled, as far as I know. I don't know if Pearson is going to be expelled or was expelled yet, but he's up for expulsion.
He was. No, they were both expelled. There were 3 people up for expulsion, the 2 young black men and an older white woman, and they voted to not expel the white woman. Who, I mean, there's a message there for sure. I mean, the Republicans who made that decision are sending a clear message there, just to be clear. But also, we should also say that she's come out and said that herself too. The woman who stood with them, she was asked, "Why do you think you weren't expelled?" And she said, "Maybe it's because the color of my skin." Like, she's calling it out too. So good for her. I did read though that there's going to be a special election, and they will be allowed to run again. Like, they're not banned from running, and if they run again and win, they cannot be expelled again for the same thing. Like, that's it. So it's possible that these Tennessee Republican lawmakers just You know how Republicans were going crazy this past week about how we've turned Donald Trump into a martyr. I mean, they may very well have actually done that with these two young men. These two guys are going to have a big future, I think, in politics for sure.
Yeah. This speech is really good. Let me just play this clip.
That's if they're safe.
And you are seeking to expel District 86's representation from this House in a country that was built on a protest. In a country that was built on a protest. You who celebrate July 4th, 1776, pop fireworks and eat hot dogs. You say to protest is wrong because you spoke out of turn, because you spoke up for people who are marginalized. You spoke up for children who won't ever be able to speak again. You spoke up for parents who don't want to live in fear. You spoke up for Larry Thorne, who was murdered by gun violence. You spoke up for people that we don't want to care about. In a country built on people who speak out of turn, who spoke out of turn, who fought out of turn to build a nation. I come from a long line of people who have resisted.
Yeah. So they're great. Justin Jones, if you watch any of his speeches, they're incredible. It's clear why they made him a target, because it's not just this issue. Like, he has been holding the Republican Party accountable and really standing up for his constituents and representing Gen Z in a very loud way. And so they wanted to find some excuse to get rid of him because he's been a thorn in their side. And they did. Like, it's not just this issue, like gun control, like on LGBTQ plus issues, when it comes to, welfare issues. He is excellent. So these are two people who are leaders, and they don't like that they're leaders. They don't like that they're able to set the agenda because that's what they want to do. They want to monopolize discourse, and they just try to find some way to undemocratically remove them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's just a reality. We can't constantly recognize the Republicans are fascists at this point. I say it every episode. Like, this is the kind of extremism. This is not at all surprising. And I would like, in a different world, you want to. And first of all, yes, that speech is incredible. He's clearly an incredible speaker. And in a different world, you'd like to be like, oh, yeah, he'll have a great career in politics because you see how talented he is or how great of a speaker he is. But in this world where he's a black man, in that environment where those kind of powerful white supremacists have it out for him so bad that they would remove him, I think I worry about his safety long term. And I think that's something that doesn't get, I feel like, mainstream media will never delve into that part of it, because to delve into that would have to be to recognize the kind of dangerous forces these people are with the kind of things they've done, historic things, and the reality of that. And, it would change the tenor of the very both sides, the way people try to treat politics. But a real thing is his safety. Honestly, that's something that I think about that in a situation where people have targeted him as somebody that is a leader, as somebody that they need to get rid of, as somebody that they would go to these lengths. So yeah, I hope he stays covered.
Yeah, I do credit. This is this is Jones. I can play this as well if you want.
Yeah.
Let's talk about expulsion. For years.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. I forgot about this one from earlier because I saw the other guys too.
No expulsion. One member sits in this chamber who was found guilty of domestic violence. No expulsion. We had a former speaker sit in this chamber who is now under federal investigation. No expulsion. We have a member still under federal investigation. No expulsion. We had a member pee in another member's chair in this chamber. No expulsion. In fact, they're in leadership. In the governor's administration. And so once again, what you're saying to us Since you're trying to put us on trial, I'll say what you're really putting on trial is the state of Tennessee. What you're really showing for the world is holding up a mirror to a state that is going back to some dark roots. A state in which the Ku Klux Klan was founded is now attempting another power grab by silencing the two youngest black representatives and one of the only women, Democratic women in this body. That's what this is about. Let us be real today.
Yeah, it's like they're incredible. But when I see incredible black men in this context doing this, I can't help but recognize all the times I've seen incredible black men in that context doing that. And we are talking about them in what ifs and what could have been, because past tense, because they're killed. They're targeted and killed. Like, so that is, I like I say, and I think that's something, you know, we forget sometimes how different environments are for protests. And like people could take that for granted. Like as for what New York City is and what NYPD is, there's still a big difference between protesting Black Lives Matter in Manhattan versus what it is in Mississippi. Like there are serious things. Like when I've talked to different like organizers on the ground and different activists and stuff following the different deaths of different black people, depending on what they are far different constraints of what the danger is locally in those places and those environments. And the internet sometimes can blend the world in a way where we don't really realize like what the outside environment is there, right? Like that might be going viral on Twitter and we're like, oh my God, this person is amazing, this person is this person could be a great speaker, and this person could be in their real life where they're at, they are a target and they are a person that has a lot to be concerned about and are in danger. So when I see two black men and a woman targeted on this level to where they have to give a very moving speech like that, because I don't know when last I've seen either a speech to the level of either speech they've given, it makes me you know, worry for them and hope for, you know, that they are covered and protected. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
And like a really the point is also because people will have you believe that Alime is being hyperbolic with this, but it is actually very tempered and a reasonable response, because every black resistance movement, especially in the continental USA, has been either co-opted or just absolutely obliterated. We think of Black Wall Street. We think of, I saw people mention Fred Hampton, MLK, Malcolm X. It's a constant, it's not like this is not, and in the same way, when people are talking about the trans genocide that is happening and using those words extremely purposefully, it's because it exactly is. This is not hyperbolic. Like, this is not Fox News trying to say it's overblown, it's a psyop or something like that. This is, in fact, maybe like not even speaking to the level of severity we need to take it to. And everything that black talented political orators, people with political talent like that, people made mention of the way that they spoke and the cadence being extremely religious and probably ecclesiastical, and how the matrix for it was probably a church. And when you think about that, that's just so poetic, because when we think about how the church as an institution is a place where they're able to develop these political talents, at the same time, they have to fight a litany of different aggressions, whether it be the colonial construct of church, all the different things that are said in church in order to break down black men in particular and socialize them into being a particular way. Yet they still come out like this, which is my point, that these men that we see, these talented political actors, are everything despite what America has made. It's not because of, because America will like make you want to believe that, oh, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you'll be able to make it. That is not true. The people that have made it and the people that they like to point to as paragons of political talent have made it despite what has been levied against them. So these men, if they are able to actually realize their full political talent and get to the stages that they deserve to be on, it is not because of America. It is in spite of America.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Clap track.
Well said.
I actually have a clap track, but I'm not sure which button it is, so I don't want to screw it up.
I got an air horn, but I don't know if it's gonna play.
Let's see if this. What's this? Oh,
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I guessed right. There we go.
You could have done like a laugh track, then it would have been completely inappropriate.
Rational national sense.
There we go. That makes rational national sense.
I love that. Yeah, no, it's sad, and like yet again, like especially also like these protests. We were talking about the trans genocide. Like, it's very. It's not even eerie. It's extremely numb. Like when I was like hearing like Alami talk just now, like the tiredness, the lethargy that you see on her is because she's had to say it like a million times. Like this ain't new. It's almost like a broken record because you get tired, and that's exactly what they want. Like they want you to get tired of But listen, when they let them babies die in Sandy Hook, I was just like, look, America will never.
Oh yeah, I know. I feel the
They
same
will
way.
never-
Once that happened.
It was over. Like I was just like the gun
Yeah.
debate. Like I say, you lost. Like, cause they will care more about their guns than their babies. They will.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one more clip that's Pearson talking to the media. This is also pretty good.
Principles, but that's what's being lost today. And so every Tennessean to be very concerned that we are not in a democracy. And across the United States of America, there has been no House members who have ever been expelled for exercising their First Amendment rights in a peaceful protest. This is a first in American history, and we are losing our democracy to white supremacy. We are losing our democracy to patriarchy. We are losing our democracy to people who want to keep a status quo that is damning to the rest of us and damning to our children and unborn people. It is no coincidence that the two youngest black lawmakers in the state of Tennessee and one or two women are on trial today. That is not accidental. This is what happens when you lose democracy. This is what we are fighting against and must stand up against as legislators and as people and as citizens across this country. Because it's starting in Tennessee, but it won't end here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, they're excellent speakers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even the afro, like all of it is purposeful with that. Like, and unfortunately, black hair is very political. But like even a choice like that, you think of Angela Davis, you think of the people that wear he knows what he's doing. And the thing is, he has to perform these political markers in order to access even the rooms and the possibility of influence that he's able to access in. So like all of these different qualifiers he's doing in order to get into these rooms. So I watch his career with a lot of eagerness and also trepidation.
Yeah, rightfully so. It's just really dark times now, and I think that people they're starting to wake up to the fact that one of the only two parties in this country that are electorally viable is fascist. And I don't think that they really understand what that means, because to all of us, it's kind of a foreign concept. Like we think about fascism back in history in World War II, and it's like inconceivable that could happen here and that fascism could be on the rise here. But it's like we're well past this whole identification phase, which is where I think some people are finally emerging, and we're into the implementation part of the fascism. Like you look to Florida and specifically the laws that are being proposed, and it is deeply authoritarian laws that require journalists to register if they criticize the government, laws that require universities to report on, I can't remember the specifics, report on what they're covering, if they cover any social politics or critical race theory. Like these are all the state seizing power for fascistic reasons. You see the way that they go after opposition in a very authoritarian and direct manner. Like this is all part of fascism. Like fascism isn't like one thing, it's a number of things. There's criteria, and as the years go on, we meet more and more criteria. Like we check more boxes, and we're starting to realize what that looks like. It looks like trans genocide. It looks like the disempowerment of political opponents in an authoritarian way, the removal of civil rights that have been fought for centuries. I mean, Roe v. Wade being overturned, it hasn't even been a year but that is monumental. Like to even recall that, oh yeah, we're back to pre-1970 America with regard to reproductive rights. That is no small thing. And for people who are kind of like in this privileged position to where it doesn't personally affect them, it will affect you eventually, because one by one, like each group, like everyone is going to be touched by this in some way, because that's what fascism does. It is like the takeover of power, of culture, of all institutions. And so like we're seeing that. And I'm glad that people are starting to wake up finally and acknowledge it for what it is and finally use the F word. But we're kind of, we're past the acknowledgement phase, as I was saying, and we need to be in the mobilization phase to stop it if it's not too late.
Yeah.
Blair, any topics in the question form?
Yes, absolutely. So honestly, some of the questions, which I think are kind of back from earlier stuff, the questions want to know, what are some of the best Bahamian dishes?
Oh,
the chat wants to know about food.
My favorite ever is the staple Bahamian breakfast. And let me just say this before I say this. It's gonna sound whatever to y'all, and I don't want to hear no slander. I'm ready to die about this, me and all Bahamians. But tuna and grits, that's my favorite. You ever Americans just react crazy? They start every time I say that on Twitter, they just come talking shit. Oh, I wouldn't eat that. That seems so. Who asked you?
I thought you were gonna say,
is it fresh tuna or
you gotta just say fire engine? Would you?
Fire engine is good. Sheep tongue, baby girl. Sheep tongue. That's where it's at.
Sheep tongue is fire. But no, it's definitely tuna and grits, and then I like a conch snack more. Which you prefer, a conch snack or a conch salad?
A conch snack, you mean like bamboo shack conch snack?
Yeah, bamboo shack. I used to love it. I used to be an imperial.
I'm sorry. What is that? What is that first word you're saying?
We need more explanation of
the
what
magical conch. Like you ever watch SpongeBob? Like the blow.
Can we spell this? Because it sounds. I hate to do this. It sounds like something else.
C-O-N-C-H.
C-O-N-C-H.
Okay. Okay.
You want to say conch.
Conch is very
conch.
Bahamian.
Oh, conch.
No,
oh, got it. Okay.
Conch. It's incorrect. No.
No. Oh.
Conch.
Chunk?
I said no. No. Y'all in community with Bahamian people, y'all can't say conch, but I can say
and conch is like a Bahamian, like you don't understand, like that's very Bahamian, like conch, which is why learn how to have the conch shell of the week. It's called a conch shell, a jackass.
It's like a donkey of the day. Yeah.
Oh, conch.
Yeah.
Conch. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
But we have
sort of like the robot from Pee-wee's Playhouse, Conky.
I get that. White Bahamians are called Conky Joes. There's a fun fact.
Okay.
White like the conch. Yeah.
White Bahamians are called Conky Joes. So conch fritters. Conch fritters is a Bahamian staple. Conch fritters, Scotch conch salad, conch snacks. We are conch people.
We fry the conch and they make it into conch snack. I like squash conch though. I like squash conch with.
I like squash conch too.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm getting hungry. It's too late to be this hungry.
Yeah.
I know Ole was making me hungry with the fries. When I see the French fries, that's when it's like, okay, now I'm hungry.
Yeah. Someone said, they're white Bahamians, of course. Yeah, and they are just like, they sound just like us. So they're different kinds of white Bahamians now, mind you. They're white Bahamians who only want to be amongst white Bahamians, and they live on Spanish Wells. I got Island. They have pinpoint places. There's some white Bahamians like that, and then there's some white Bahamians that are the hyper opposite. But anyway, they sound just like us. They right there. They're the minority though. They're the minority. The Bahamas is overwhelmingly black. The black in the flag stands for the people.
Like legit,
actually, the black in our flag is for the people.
Thinking of becoming a white Bahamian myself.
Oh, I know if you could talk.
You'll never be a Bahamian. We are I just tell you, we're very Puritan.
Very xenophobic. So we could spot you out. You'd be like
Bahamians do not like foreigners. Okay.
Unless they're very white.
It's a deep thing. It's a deep thing. It's very deep. It's very deep. It's very deep. You know, speaking of, hold on, what time is it in the show? I'll tell y'all a story to prove
like an hour.
Anti-black. I'll tell you later on in the story when the odds of Bahamians still being on here and able to stay it on the island and my parents hear it. But I have a good story that'll really illustrate Bahamians' internalized anti-blackness because I really catch my daddy in it this week. He is really trying to argue me down. I'm like, sweetie, take this L. Take this L. Take this. But you say what? You say tell it? Are there any Bahamians in the chat? Are there any Bahamians in the chat? Let's just give it a little bit. Who said? Oh,
where my Chet Hanks at?
Oh my god! This is microaggressions today.
Just tell the story now. I want to hear it.
Okay.
We don't have to wait.
My daddy. So my parents are going through a divorce, right?
That's
yeah, right. They had a divorce, so my mommy ragtagged my daddy ass in court. Just was Molly whopping him. Wow, like my daddy is very, very upset. So my daddy, so my mommy lawyer is a black Bahamian woman. My daddy lawyer is a white Bahamian man. But my daddy feel like I can tell you who they is for it later, all right? But it's like a Bahamian family, a white Bahamian family that been here for generations. They were once upon a time from a different place, but they are Bahamians. So, and they are racist as hell, but they just as anti-foreign as every regular Bahamians. So my daddy called himself, you know, because I'm like, here's my daddy's lawyer. I spoke to my daddy's lawyer, and it was very clear to me that my daddy's lawyer don't fuck with my daddy. And I know this because I'm a lawyer, and I know what it looks like when you don't fuck with your client, when you don't believe your client. And I know it because my daddy was like reading some allegations from my mommy, and my daddy said when the year was that my mommy said these allegations happened, and so I responded back with the year, and the lawyer was like, "Why'd your daughter say that year?" Like he thought he caught my daddy, like, "Yeah, I know you do it." I know this man don't fuck with my daddy, right? So the man ain't submit half the evidence my daddy had for his claim to man to say it's submitted, right? And my daddy, they're still trying to, you done fucking get your ass beat in court and you still can't accept your choices, right? So he explained it to me, what you must understand is the Bahamians are very anti-foreign. You know what it is. I've been in this country for this long as a Nigerian man. The way that they treat you, the way they look down on you. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's true.
That is true.
The white man is a Bahamian too. And my daddy, I'm like, I don't know what you feel to understand. And my daddy's like, no, you need to understand. You know, they are from such and such a place. You know, that I say, Dad was from such and such a fucking place. I went to school with 5 generations of them. What are you talking about? They're Bahamian. You got your ass whooped because you thought the white man was a better lawyer. It's okay. It's okay. You got fucked up. I'm gonna fuck you up in court. That hurt. That hurt, Daddy. You're gonna be okay.
It's gonna be alright. Oh my god.
Well, no, tell me, hold on, please. If y'all are Bahamian, do not say nothing on this island, man. I don't need my daddy coming to me upset. But he can. So he say, now my daddy, that's one man who don't listen. His lawyer tell him don't go in there being cheeky. Coach the man. How are you supposed to go in there? Now my mommy lawyer asks my daddy, but piss him off how she asked him. Was like, so why did you marry her then or whatever, right? Now my daddy in divorce court to say, well, that's the $1 trillion question. My daddy said the judge gasped. Listen, I was in Target ready to fall out. My daddy's on the floor like, and he's trying to explain it to me. He's like, see, you have to understand. Now, he talking to his daughter, the lawyer, right? And he doesn't lose. He's already lost. So you would think he would understand and accept that he is wrong. He's still explaining. He's still trying to defend his logic. He's like, see, you have to understand, Yemi. The way lawyers think sometimes. You know, you have to say it to them in a way. I'm like, so yeah, anyway, I said that to say, yeah, but him is internalized the same foolishness. Anti-blackness. There's my story.
The average white tourist that comes to the Bahamas can literally access a lot of privilege and not even know what side of the road we drive on. Like, I swear to you. Like, if I go to the bar and a white tourist is also at the bar, I can have $100 bill in my hand and I say, sweet mutton, beautiful, lovely. Empress, please, may I get Henny with Crown? I could say that at the top of my lungs with the deepest baritone. All this white boy with his straw hat need to do, his lobster, Dr. Zoidberg looking ass, all you need to do is come up inside the place, come to the bar, sit your ass down, and just said, miss, may I get, boom, boom.
Big service, big service.
Crap. She come there, yes, sir. Yes, sir, what would you like? Like, what would you like?
you see the white people buying up Exuma?
All right, man, look, why are you bringing this thing?
Listen, I went to Exuma last year, and I saw so many. Listen, you don't understand how many white people I saw. I saw more white people than I am supposed to see people in Exuma. I say, what is this? I say, down in the bushes where we ain't paying attention, they are buying up all the land. They're buying up all the land.
It's for sale. Like a lot of like the Bahamas is for sale, and I mean, like, we also have like this constant debate about like Chinese, American, foreign direct investment and diplomacy. You have like a lot of xenophobia in that regard. Like, you have some Bahamians saying, "Oh, the Chinese is buying up the place," and the Chinese. I'm more like, you have no problem. You mad because, let's be real, you're mad because they got like a little bit of tint to them. You're mad because they a little bit, they ain't white, they ain't pink. They got like a little bit of a tint, because you ain't mind when the Americans building one of the largest friggin' buildings in your capital down square. If you see the American embassy, it is literally towering. I telling you, like, it ain't no 1-inch pinch. This is a long structure erected in the down square. And Bahamians will say, that's a beautiful building. That is a testament to architecture. But when the Chinese build you a stadium, a place for your public good, they could be all like, these rat-eating, dog-eating, like this and that, hide your stray dogs. They say all the shit. All of this.
I ever tell you how they failed me on my driving test because my daddy African? Listen, let me stop.
This better be a good story, because I gotta say, it sounds a little bit like an excuse. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I failed 3 times as well. Yeah.
That's crazy. No, listen, no. I'll say y'all. No more baby now. I will tell it another time. I can tell you about it for it. Like, I can tell you later.
No, because that industry is very corrupt too. Like, you could buy a driver's license. The Ministry of Road and Traffic. I can't talk that loud. Hey, I need to stop. You didn't buy it? Live, you can't see that. You on live? You can't see things like that.
I would say my favorite, this is going to sound very wild, but I love Bribery in the Bahamas.
Oh my God. I tried you not to say this.
You like Bribery?
Oh, okay. Don't say it for me. I can say it. I can say it.
Mike, please.
All right, now I know you're lying about the story. You're just that bad of a driver. Even the money payoff couldn't pass you.
Everybody's buying license in the Bahamas. That's big thing. What do you mean that's awful? Like, we have regular everyday bribery, man. Not like big great politician. The island is 21 by 7 miles long. We don't have no Trump niggas, man. Relax. Right? It's like little things, like give them a license, speed them up on the line. Let me get this earlier. But that's my favorite thing in the Bahamas is like, if you have a couple $100, no dilemma is unsolvable. Like, I realized, listen, this last time I was home, right?
That's the problem with capitalism, though. Like that.
Hush, man. You focus on your big countries and leave my tiny island alone. All right? you let me enjoy something. That's my favorite thing when I get home. Listen, every day in America, I'm acutely aware of the fact that I'm an immigrant. It impacts my everyday. Oh, when I go home and I have free reign. Oh, I'm like, yes, to me. Oh, when I was last home, right? So when we was growing up, you I lie for it. It used to take months to get your passport. Like, months, and it's still slow. It still is a thing. Like, you have to go in or whatever, apply this. It take a while. So when I went I think the last couple times I was home, one of those trips I had to go to the embassy to get my new visa and stuff, and they tell you to get your new visa, your passport has to have 10 years on it or something, not expired for 10. I'm like, oh fuck, my passport has way less than that or whatever. I'm not gonna be able to get this or whatever. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh, and then immediately one of my family members just told me who I could pay $300 to get it done, and it was like got it done. And I was like, oh. Woo! I love a hookup. Oh, I love a hookup. I was like, right. Oh, I got money. Here, man. Give me this. Problem solved.
Isn't it better though if it's just like properly funded and it works properly for everybody?
No, David. no, David. Cash is king.
Listen, I love a hookup.
Money run the road. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, allow me, please. Like, you can say all it takes. And like, you will get like. There's definitely cases too, like where. Like police officers, all cops are bosses. Like,
Bahamian police officers love bribe.
The worst.
Nobody like bribe like Bahamian police officers.
Allow me driving in the night, like literally, they will stop a Limey car. They'd whoop, whoop, and they flicking go pull up in front of her, cut her off in traffic. Get out this car. Get out this car. And then they screw around and say, officer, what's the problem? The problem is you looking so fine behind this wheel and I ain't get your number. Boom. They will stop you to get your number.
Police officers do that to me in Brooklyn on a regular basis.
Oh, okay, well I don't feel like
I have I have on a regular basis. Like
they stop your car or stop you in the street?
Both. Stop me in the car. Police love me. What you mean? Men love women. Love no good for them. They love me. Or they always everybody. As soon as a police officer see me, I'm like, sir, please go where the love is. Please go where the love is. No, but Bahamian police officers, there's a thing is known in the Bahamas. Bahamian police, what they say for it when they come for you lock up. You lock fucking up. You lock fucking up. As soon as they see you. You know you lock fucking up, right? You know you getting locked fucking up, right?
and they so like I tell you, like, and that just goes to show, like, it doesn't have to do with the color in this case. Rare time when I'm gonna say this. It doesn't have to do with the color. Like literally, police all across the board, like all of them need to bun. The only good, like I telling you, these fellas would pull me over, and they're like, it would be something very innocent, and they would just say. Get to the back of the car. Get to the rear of the car. They get the whole gun out. They get the whole thing. They look like Moist Critical. How they have the whole gun out. And like and they say, get to the back of your car. I say, so what happened? I say, you know your tint's too dark, right? I say, you gotta be flicking stop. No, my tint's too dark? You got what is that? A M15? And you got it on me because the tint's dark? Really?
Bahamian police officers treat me so good. Listen, Bahamian police officer, particular brand, the corrupt man, but they love a Bahamian woman. Oh, they love a Bahamian woman. They think, Bahamian police officers treat me good. Like I remember one time he was pulled over on the beach down all the way out east, right? All the way out east, like past the on the Eastern Road, right? Like just coming past Montague. We was parked there and my friends was parked in the car, right? And so what happened? My friend was in the front seat of the car, pissing me off. He keeps saying bunch of slick comments to me because he ain't like us in the States and I had an American boyfriend. He had an attitude. He feels some type of way. So anyway, he keeps shaking shots. Listen, it's like 4 a.m. We smoking weed is illegal in the Bahamas. And weed is also terrible in the Bahamas. This is another thing. That's a side comment. Yeah, so terrible. Like reg is not even sufficient. The weed is abysmal. I pray for my land. But I had the front seat and he pissed me off. I start cursing about when you look. Oh yeah, you see lights coming. Police come to the beach. All my friends triple D. They swear they go to jail. As soon as they come to the window. I'm like, oh hello officer. Oh no, I just come here because he know he in my face and. Let me go on. My boys in the back was like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't know I was going to jail. He said, I thought it was texting my mommy. Like, oh, just so you know. I go to jail. Listen, the police are so corrupt, but they day-to-day corrupt. They corrupt with everyday people. Like it ain't like, oh, yeah, you might have to have a hookup, might know somebody. No, Bahamian police will get into a long-term transaction bribery deal with you at the drop of a dime. Like, oh, you and some children I caught fooling around in the park. Pay me some money. You 16, but give me what you want. I've had friends get bribed, but about to bribe the police when he was like 15 and big. The police.
Oh my god.
I just don't drive in other countries. Like I don't trust cops in other countries. So
you shouldn't trust cops in your
Canadian police. I understand. Like I don't trust anybody, but like I understand them. I don't care if it's Iceland. I don't care where it is. Like I'm not driving on the roads. I'll take a bus.
But yes, I'm sorry. We keep. This is gonna be Bahamian hour if y'all don't stop.
This is
literally me and Corin all day.
All right, I'm here.
Blair, what do we got? Yeah.
All right,
Blair, what's next?
Let's talk about Clarence Thomas and the greed that came out, the fraud.
This corn.
Yeah, you don't like I say.
Clarence Thomas.
As I said, I took today off. Like I saw, so someone else has to intro this. I saw of this story, but I don't know enough of it to really give a prize.
It's a really like multifaceted story too. It's a hard one to just talk about on the fly.
Look,
basically
TLDR.
I did a video
Start with the TLDR.
Go ahead, Mike. Yep, I know that he's been flying around the world on big expensive trips, on big expensive private planes, living the high life on his 250 some odd K public servant salary, but the way he's paying for it is he's not paying for it. It's all courtesy of a billionaire Republican.
Yeah, so right after Justice Clarence Thomas was confirmed to the Supreme Court, Harlan Crow, GOP mega donor, real estate magnate, basically became friends with him. And they got really close over 2 decades. He took Clarence Thomas on his super yacht, let him stay at his resorts, his ranch in Texas, took him on all these trips to Indonesia, around the world. And these trips, like individually, if Thomas and Ginny paid for it themselves, it'd be like some of them upwards of $500,000. But this happened for decades, and none of them were disclosed. Not a single one of them were disclosed. Now, the thing about the Supreme Court justices is that, their code of conduct says that they should avoid the appearance of impropriety. Should makes it pretty optional, but they do have to disclose these gifts that they get. Like members of Congress, they can't take a gift worth more than $50. And if somebody wants to sponsor a trip for them, they have to get that approved by an ethics commission. But for Supreme Court justices, those same rules don't necessarily apply. But Thomas was so brazen that he didn't even let anyone know that this was happening. Like, you're supposed to like fill out these financial disclosures saying, hey, I got this gift. And on top of that, with these meetings and stuff, so Harlan would let him meet with other rich people. They'd have barbecues together. There's actually a photograph online of Clarence Thomas with like a bunch of like rich dudes who are all super wealthy. But we don't really have to worry about this because Harlan Crow claims that he's not trying to influence Clarence Thomas politically. So nothing to see here. So that's the crux of the story. That's the TLDR version of the story. Yeah, that's the picture right there.
My boy is a fly in the milk. Oh my god!
I will say that the artist behind this is amazing. I thought it was a photo when I first saw it.
Yeah, it's a painting apparently.
It's a painting.
Apparently, it looks
someone sat and painted this.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this was a painting.
It says right there, a painting.
It's very well done. I mean, when you got billionaires doing this, they pay for the most.
Right. I mean, obviously they were sitting there while the guy painted it. I mean, this obviously is a portrayal of what happened, but it's a painting. Yeah.
What is that in his hand?
Yeah, there's also other conflicts of interest to kind of point out. So Crow donated to this
statue.
Oh yeah.
Oh great.
A Native American statue, cigar in his hand, khakis and sandals. It's hell.
It's hell.
the sandals. Yeah. So Harlan Crow, Clarence Thomas's sugar daddy, also donated to the Tea Party organization that Jimmy Thomas worked for.
Sorry. Did you just call him Clarence Thomas's sugar daddy?
Yeah.
Thank you. I had to contain myself.
No.
I
saw you laughing. I was like, you heard it too.
That's some cold shit. I ain't gonna lie, but it's true though. We call him a blesser. We call him a financier.
I mean, I can look at how happy he is. I mean, who would think that his decisions were influenced here by all of this?
Bitch, look at him. He is just an IG influencer. All he need to do is just put his ass on the sink and like sugar daddy galore. Like, look at him. He is just that is giving. It's giving like sugar baby on on vacation that the sugar daddy paid for. Like he's not in the picture himself. It's just him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. Can't take it.
Yeah, it's just the level of shamelessness here with this corruption is fucking insane. It is genuinely insane. Like the story itself is very, very long. Like I barely scratched the surface. Like they detail specific trips that they took, all the times that he went up in his private jet, went on the super yacht. I'd never heard of a super yacht. I knew that there were yachts for rich people, but apparently there's a super yacht, which is like a giant hotel on water that Clarence Thomas and Ginny stayed at. It is incomprehensible, but at the same time, like it's not surprising at all. Like I don't think anyone is surprised by the story, because this is just like, I think that AOC put it best in a tweet talking about this, where she said that this is kind of like what the Roberts Court is, like the decline of democracy, the rollback of civil rights, and just rampant corruption that is so in your face that they don't even care.
Man, look at this shit. I hate this. This is setting me back. This is setting civil rights back. Like this right here, this image right here, man. This is a micro.
Them in Indonesia.
What happened to your boy on the side? Like, oh man, I hate this. Look at you.
Yeah.
So I did see that AOC said that if no one else introduces articles of impeachment, then she will. But is that going to go anywhere with the current makeup of Congress? I don't. I'm shocked.
That's the thing. I mean, Dick Durbin, who's the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, says that they're going to act because this is so brazen. Like he has to at least pretend like he's going to do something. But I mean, at the end of the day, does anyone expect impeachment to come of this, or even like a minimal amount of accountability? Of course, nothing's going to happen. That's why they do it, because they know that they can get away with it. Like that's why it's as brazen as it is. Because I mean, we're all going to like go tisk tisk, like wag our fingers at Clarence Thomas, but nothing's going to happen. Like that's why this happens, and it's not just like Clarence Thomas. Like this is a microcosm of a bigger issue with government, but like there's a level of shamelessness that really I think is the subtext here, where it's like he just for decades didn't give a flying fuck, didn't disclose any of this.
Yep. So his failure to report the flights appears to violate a federal disclosure law passed after Watergate. According to experts, by accepting the trips, Thomas has broken longstanding norms for judges' conduct, ethics experts, and for current or retired federal judges said.
Yeah. Welcome to America, folks. I mean,
again, the most shocking part about this isn't that it even happened, and I think that's what's particularly messed up here. We're not shocked that this occurred. We're kind of like, okay, yeah, this is exactly confirmation of what we thought was going on. We're just kind of messed up over how much audacity he had to just do this for so many years. That's what's upsetting. We're just like, yeah, we kind of knew this was going on. We just didn't have proof of it. But wow, it was really bad. Like, this is sad.
Yeah. And what's especially stunning is that like our corruption laws and like ethics standards, they're already so low. So like when somebody actually breaks campaign finance law, potentially like Donald Trump, or violates the minimal amount of ethics requirements that are for Supreme Court justices, like there's already so little. So if you can't even abide by those lax rules, then like what do you even say to that? I mean, all you had to do was tell everyone, hey, this dude is taking me on his super yacht, and he did it again. Actually, every year we go for 9 days to his ranch in Texas. That's all that you have to do. You just disclose it. And sure, people will criticize you, but like, what the fuck are they gonna do? But he couldn't even disclose it. Like, this is corruption in America. Like, they don't give a shit at all.
That confirms to me that there was baloney going on for sure. Something was afoot.
Yeah. And like this is tactical, because like I see this a lot in the Bahamas too, like where we don't put on seatbelts when we're in cars in the Bahamas because like we don't feel as though there's any consequence, but we do as soon as we go to Miami, because there's like this respect for this rule of law, like this idea that you will be held accountable. And I'm seeing like this, like just decadence coming, like this decline of rule of law being seen on a regular basis. And the danger of that is that it corrodes this belief in systems. I mean, you shouldn't believe it, but now you're getting this different, like this disenfranchisement on an individual level when they're saying, okay, my elected officials are being blatantly like just scummy, unctuous, like they're embezzling funds, they're paying off porn stars, they're doing all of these things. Ex-presidents are going to jail. All of these things are happening with impunity. So I mean, like, why should I like even believe in the checks and balances? Like when I came to the States, the thing that we always talked about is just like, oh, like checks and balances, like the States is so efficient and like things are just done so above board and behind, like over the books. And the Bahamas is just like, we don't like to, like, there's so many, as Alami was saying, like there's so many bribe systems, there's so many different transactions that happen that are not above board. And really, it's not that it wasn't happening in the States. It's just like now it's become so quotidian, so bold and brazen that you can't even say that. Like, and that's why it's so silly when like Americans like criticize banana republics talking about their free and fair elections when you all see what happening. Ain't no January 6th over here. Like, I mean, like, ain't none of the shopping. We have free and fair elections with very great political participation.
Yeah, Bahamians have incredibly high voter turnout. Bahamians vote. Crazy. Bahamians, like, we have like ridiculous.
80 or 90%.
90
is it compulsory?
We're in the 90%.
No.
Not compulsory, and it's that high.
We're in the 90%. Bahamians do not play. Bahamians take our political party. PBLBF for them, like a blood oath, like Gryffindor versus Slytherin. They showing up, they voted. And that's a big like rally season. Bahamian political rallies is like a thing. Like Bahamians go to rallies. Like it's a big political.
Is there like a day off to vote, or like a couple days of voting, or is it the same as the U.S. where it's like one working day to vote?
One working day.
Like
no.
When it's time to vote, is it like a day off of work, or?
I think that we just like kind of have like a tacit agreement that we're gonna take off to vote. Like even if you're in on the clock at that time, like civil servants will do it. I know I got mine somewhere around.
I have my old voters card. I've never got to vote. I've never gotten to vote a day in my life because I've never been in the Bahamas to vote, and I live in the States and can't vote. But my mommy made me get a voters card because you see what I say about Bahamians. So let me find it so I can show it to you all. But
But that's this thing, like, and that's a pernicious nature of seeing stories like this, because what ends up happening is that on an individual level, you get the systemic malaise and just distrust in the system to the point where it facilitates not only riotous action, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you have the right one behind it, not January 6th, but more BLM, more protests that actually are advocating for progressive change. But instead, you get a different type of response, which is just apathy, political apathy, just like this general, like almost like a nihilist doomerism that you have, where just like, oh well, there's people that can, there's people that can't. I am one of the people that can't. I'm just gonna go back to work, be stuck in traffic all day, breathe in the smog, go to my soul-crushing job. I really wanted to go to film school and become the next Spielberg, but instead now I'm making someone else's dreams come true. Get off at 5. I'm so tired that I can't even think about the political systems that govern me, and then I crawl in bed, eat some ramen noodles, and do it over the next day. It's all designed to like be extremely soul-crushing.
I would want to look at numbers of like smaller nations and their voting turnout and how much they vote, because I feel like you would have more agency, or you would feel like you have more of an impact in a smaller country with a smaller population than somewhere in like the US, where you feel like, oh, you're one of 300 million people. Is it going to make a difference if I vote? Meanwhile, if you're like one of 1 million people, it's going to feel like that vote is going to carry a little more weight.
But that's the funny thing is, I think what it is I think it's less about weight and it's about knowing, like closeness and knowing people. And I think and I'll show you how I think it impacts us positively in terms of voter turnout, but negatively in terms of activism. All right, because in terms of voter turnout, Bahamians know who run in our country. We literally know them. We know who the politicians are running. We know their families. We know them. It's very tangible to us. It's very real. Like we see the prime minister and then we go to school with, like, our last prime minister's son was in my class, and he's like we know these people. So that
politics is local.
Yeah, so that makes us turn out to vote, right? Like I only from Nassau, which is the capital where all the parliament and everything is from, is 21 by 7 miles long. We know the people, so that makes you turn out for voters. But when it comes to activism, there's a thing in America or in big countries. It's so big, there will always be, even if you're in the minority, there will always be a bunch of people. There will be some with the internet world. You could create some kind of community online. You could insulate. You could have different kinds of hubs. America's a huge place. You could live in New York City versus Ohio or the Mississippi or wherever it is. You can have that kind. Not in the Bahamas. So like the people who will have a problem, the people who are the trolls cursing you out on online are the people you about to see. You go to school, you know them. They about to talk to you like that in real life. You about to you know them for real. You can be ostracized for real. Like it becomes, so it makes it hopeless because you are quite literally, it's like, oh, you're the one voice, you know what I mean? You're the one voice. So there's only a couple of that, and there ain't nobody trying to hear that, and they will shout you down. So that makes people really, apathetic to activism. Like that was one of the things you first said when we first ever started talking. When you were like, I don't know how Bahamians like her so much, considering what her politics is. I don't know how you manage that.
Listen, I could love bomb Alani, but there's not many. She's the most visible Bahamian leftist, like verbatim. There's really no other contest about it. And people in the Bahamas know about it. Now, you see, my audience is extremely North American. My people in my community, I'm preaching to the choir. Like, they are used to my takes. They're used to the leftism. I'm not saying anything too revolutionary to them. When my videos get into the ether over here, what Alani is saying is so true. If I was not a big black man with a beard that does MMA, I would be in tangible danger on a regular basis for literally just saying that trans women are women, gay people don't deserve fire and brimstone, and you deserve not to die inside your hospitals like cattle. I would literally get pilloried, hung from my knees in the square as a paradigm of which should not happen. I will be a deterrent. They will say these people should not exist because they are advocating for a basic human right. So the fact that Alani is out here where they're literally does the Bahamas not count as North America?
I was literally I saw that and I was like, no, not at all. We're not a part of it. I'm an immigrant all the time. We have nothing to do with America. We are in the Caribbean, and we used to when we didn't have independence, which we do, it was by the British. We have no relation to America.
Yeah, the Bahamas. I cannot stress it that the Bahamas is not picking on you, but the Bahamas is not in a U.S. territory. We're not
at all. No, and it's not one island. It's 700. The Bahamas is a collection of 700 islands and keys, but we're from the capital, Nassau, which is 21 by 7 miles long. Yeah, foreign.
No. So that's why when Alani goes on Twitter and in a very, very clockable Bahamian accent says something extremely progressive, that is a mind fuck to me. Because I'm just like, wait, hold on. And you see Bahamians inside the comments, and I'm just like, your average Bahamian will not agree with this. I'm telling you right now, transphobia, misogyny, misogynoir, sexism, ableism, all of the isms.
That's a standard opinion in the Bahamas.
It's mainstream. And that's the reason why, when Fox News, Tucker Carlson said that they be insensitive. No, fuck off. No, that is literally the bricks in the house that we live in. It is mainstream. It is as familiar as air. So when Alani is Alani publicly, visibly, I'm just like, this girl ain't scared. I said this woman ain't scared. And then that's the reason why me being home is so important to me. It's funny because people here know me from TikTok, where I just basically tell stories. I tell very funny, lewd, Bahamian over the top stories, and just not extremely political, but at the same time, I'm not saying things that are marginalizing anybody. So it's comedy without the bad parts. It's storytelling, which Bahamians are crazy storytellers. We hold it as some of the best storytellers. And it's culture is allowing me to tap in with my culture in a way that allows me to do what I'm doing here. And anytime when I get a little bit of spillover from my TikTok audience, which is extremely Bahamian, extremely Caribbean, Like they come into the comments, and the first thing they say, "What is this woke shit? What is this dribble?" Like when they get to my video about gendering as a luxury or like talking about Caribbean homophobia, they're just like, bro, I love you. I love when you talk about stories. Just be funny. Don't do this whole political shit. Just shut up and dribble the ball, basically. You know, like it's just like stop dabbling in politics. And it's hilarious how segregated these two parts are. And I feel this trepidation. And in some cases, like, to be honest, like I feel like I fail in this regard because I am not brave enough to divest in these systems, as I am very much a pillar in those systems. As you can see, like, and this is like another reason why, like, as much criticism I have for Hassan, I also appreciate who he is in the sense that he's also a traditionally masculine figure, except for the nails, but like he's a traditionally masculine figure. I present the same way. In many ways, I look like the type to spit the bigotry, just do all these other things because I am. But at the same time now, I'm recovering from that and being able to gain access into these systems. I feel like I'm almost in disguise. I'm a Trojan horse. So when I get into these barbershops and I encounter the type of things that they won't say around someone that is openly and visibly progressive, nails the stereotype of progressive, they say things that they wouldn't normally say. And then they feel safe to confide in you. And then when I do like my small interaction, my local politics of like, okay, so you saying that you love women, but like you saying that what? Okay, what do you love about women? Well, I love how, you know, they clean and they cook and, you know, I love how beautiful they are. I say, so you love slaves. That's what you want. You want a slave. And then like when you try to say and interact with the things rather than saying misogyny, rather than using these academic jargons, but just engaging with what they're saying, and they're just saying, well, wait, what are you, like, what are you? Like, what are you trying to say? And then they clock you. And then once they brand you as, okay, you're one of them, you must like man, you're advocating for people's rights.
Yeah.
It's like, it dismisses the rest of the argument. So I teeter this weird line where like I'm like a double operative. But Alimi, and this is why like I will always secede to Florida, because Alimi, she doesn't compromise with that regard. Like her Twitter, her IG, all of it is the same thing. Like, you get the same Alimi, and like she hits it all the time. And she's a Black woman, not only in New York, I mean, as diverse as New York is, but with a Bahamian audience and also like an American audience, North American audience. And I can only imagine what your DMs look like. I know what your mentions look like. I can see them publicly. But I can only imagine like the shit that you probably have to go through, the regular misogynoir, but also like the one that cuts the deepest is the misogynoir from home. Like disenfranchisement and the statelessness that she got to feel.
You know, I will say, so, you know, me and my daddy talk about that a lot. I've always been a stateless person in some respect, and that would always be the case because, you know, I'm Bahamian Nigerian, my daddy's Nigerian, my mom is Bahamian, and I have a very Bahamian family, and I'm born and raised in the Bahamas. I've never been to Nigeria, but Bahamians will never see authentically before now, like let's exclude public figuredom. Bahamians will never see you as a true Bahamian. Your name, soon as they go, what? What's your name? Why your parents name you that? What is that? Your daddy is a what? Is an African? Are your mommy? What? That's how Bahamians are. Bahamians are like that. Very, very, very xenophobic. So it was always like that growing up. And then I went to America, where now I'm immediately I'm always a different thing, a different of some kind or some perception that isn't mine. So I've always known what it is to constantly be stateless and occupying like another person's space and having to be aware of that perception. And I think that plays to my advantage in some respects now, because because I've always I know I'm not that, and I know how, you know, what certain things are perceived, right? Like especially with Bahamians love me. I know Bahamians really well. My Grammy's very Bahamian, and growing up, there are only a few Bahamians that ever get to be on like an American or international stage, or a large stage of any kind, because we're a small people, we're a small nation. And what Bahamians never could stand, the one thing Bahamians do not ask much of Bahamians that are on a larger stage. The only thing they ask is you claim the Bahamas. Yeah. They don't be perceived as watering down being Bahamian. Bahamians, you just claim. The minute a spotlight on you, you better claim the Bahamas immediately. That is the one sin. That's the cardinal sin. So for me, it was like, in some ways, despite the fact that everything about what I say and what my viewpoint and my platform is so the antithesis of what is a traditional Bahamian view, Bahamians have embraced me more in this role as a public figure than they ever would as a Bahamian that was home, loving the Bahamas, this, and the next thing or whatever. No, they love you differently now because they appreciated you somewhere else as a Bahamian, because now you become a Bahamian through the eyes of these people, these Americans, these foreigners see you as Bahamian, but not that Bahamians would in their truest of forms. So yeah, that's kind of the way.
And like, you have people like Sidney Poitier. We have like a lot of notable Bahamians. The Black National Anthem of the States is written by a Bahamian. You like Sidney Poitier is like one of the most prominent Black actors in general, but Black actors ever. Like literally the like seminal Black actor. And at the same time, like one thing that we've always criticized Sidney for is that he didn't do enough. It's just like, we need the Bahamian representation because as far as we understand, for the most part, like to the outside world, we're just seen as a tourism spot. We're just seen as a place to vacation to, but not much about the culture.
Everyone's heard of the Bahamas, but not Bahamians.
That's a beautiful way to put it. I saw someone ask about if there's gay marriage in the Bahamas. Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
Absolutely not. You want
I'm
them
curious. Like, since you both are like, you have very large platforms and whatnot, do you get like this criticism that you've been indoctrinated by like woke American institutions and stuff since you got educated here? Because that's what we kind of like, that's the trope here in the United States, where it's like for me personally, it's like, oh, you went to college and all of a sudden you're an atheist and you're no longer conservative evangelical. So like, is that same perception like consistent over there, where it's like, oh, see, they just got brainwashed by American wokeism and values?
Once upon a time ago, and then I transcended the idea that I was indoctrinated and became the indoctrinator. You know what I mean? Like now, now that's what they're talking about. Now you're the person responsible for pushing that. My daddy said that somebody said to him the other day about these like, your daughter is a liberal with all this. And my daddy said, well, what the fuck else would she be? He was like, well, what else would she be? Like reasonably? Yeah, I think there were times for sure, right? Like I feel like especially like in college when I first started, learning these things or developing my school of thought, that some of my family or people would be like, oh, this American this and blah 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 blah, and the next thing, or they would tell you, oh, it's a phase. You're gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna have a certain there'd be a little bit of that, but now, the thing about the Bahamas is you get forged in how to deal with Bahamians' respect, you know what I mean, and what a culture and a society or whatever respects, and you have to be brash, you have to be very unapologetic and not really allow yourself to be somebody who be questioned in that way, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't present myself, I don't move with Bahamians in a very you could take me on in that kind of way, because Bahamians don't respect that. The moment they that kind, like for example, the other day, I mostly get purely love from Bahamians online, love. And the other day when I made the video talking about like the trans issues, some Bahamian. Did you see that Bahamian that quote tweeted?
I haven't seen it, but like I know it's all bad because that discourse. Someone basically said that they're trying to teach transgenderism in schools, and then there's been this campaign right now where we're taking our foray into trans discourse. It's awful.
Look, I said something. And some man, what he say? He said something about me. He say, oh, this gal trying to gaslight people or something. Or he clicked like on an American saying something stink about me, and I saw it. And I listen. I went and handled the American in a particular kind of way, like whatever. Because I went over to him and I was like, when I next come on the island, I could bust your ass in your head. Play the fucking like I can bust you in your head. Like I say, you on this fucking Twitter, letting these Americans run you up on breaks. Like you letting these Americans, I go run down on you when I see you. Like,
and the same tweets, like it's right next to each other. Like you can see like the difference in tone, the different tonation, and like the dialect and the aggression all was it the same thing. And like it's crazy.
You gotta remind them, like you gotta remind, hey. This is how we dealing with them. I could be on that island. That's what my citizenship is. Please don't get carried away. Do not get carried away. You know my head ain't no fucking good. I be trying to keep it cute with these Americans. I was on y'all. Watch. So
and the fact is, like, and that's so we have to present confident, and like it's very it zaps out the humanity a lot of the times. Like so when I engage with people, I like to employ like the Socratic method. Anytime like when I'm engaging with bigotry, I'm not gonna feed you. I'm gonna use the inception. I'm just gonna say, okay, so what is a woman to you? Like I say, okay, so wait. They're teaching the kids to be trans. Were you saying they're wearing G-strings? Where have you seen that? In what school have you seen like a person dressing in a G-string and whatnot? It's a man. Okay, like so you just ask these questions and you lead them to it, and after a while they just tell it to you. And the crazy part is just the commitment to this idea of like basically Tucker Carlson conservative talking points. And I'm just like, why are you invested in this? Like this is Fox News. This doesn't have any benefit to you. But like you uphold them, you just deep throat in the boot. And the bootstrap is crazy, but like
colonialism is so powerful, and it's educated and the thing about it is, if you grow up in a Black majority country, and so you're being educated by these textbooks, these things that are written by your colonizers, and this and the next thing, but it feels it's only Black people teaching you everything. It's only Black people around. It's only Black people in power that you can see. So you could never process that it's like anti-Blackness or something. Like I think about this now as an adult. We have this textbook called Making It a Bahamas that they would teach us history out of in school. And you already know this fucking colonizers. This colonizers book. Like I get flashbacks of processing it, right? Like because you don't realize it then as a kid. But I remember they wrote like the Bahamas got out in the book, man, the history book. Just like what you learning in the class to answer the question this way. These are how you're supposed to answer. In the history book said we got out. We're lazy people. We are historically lazy people, and we got our independence because they just give it to us because we lazy and they will fight this. That's what in the book they teach you. Ain't that something? You do not want to get down with slavery, so they write in your book you're historically lazy people. They write how your soil ain't no good thing off of them slashing and burning up the place. It's you know, so it's all these different things that it's hard to unpack, and the society doesn't really allow for the space to unpack that, right? Because what you have to always remember is the Bahamas is one of the most expensive places to live in the world. The Bahamas is like the 6th most expensive. Our cost of living is that of New York, rivals or higher, I think higher than the cost of living in New York. And our dollar is equal, but the minimum wage is like $5.25. So think about that. You know, so most Bahamians are struggling, and some of live like check to check ain't even sufficient, you know what I mean, to really take that into consideration. So where do you have the space, the resources, anything to be out here trying to identify and unpack colonialism and anti-Blackness and all these things on your own? And when you stress out, and here comes some gal talking about you all ain't know that's anti-Black. Meanwhile, you looking around, you like, everybody Black. What this bitch talking about? You know what I mean? What is she talking about? So there's a lot of that to have to overcome. And so there's a lot of the same way. People talk a lot. Is interesting. I feel like as a commentator, as a public figure, whatever, everybody always talks about making yourself like palatable or message to white people. They always talking about that, but they don't think of Black people as their own different groups that you also have to figure out how to navigate and message and market to as well. And there's certain things like with the Bahamian people, with Caribbean people, you have to show your authenticness, otherwise the things that make a Bahamian, like the thing that gives me the grace and space to curse people out online is my Bahamian audience. Like having my Bahamian audience find me and love and really truly appreciate, because there's a Bahamianness culturally in cursing people out. I'm not even joking. Like that's the thing. I could show you our prime ministers telling people about their ass on video. It's a thing. Bahamians will cuss you out. I am not special in that regard. Like that's very Bahamian. We love that. So I remember like there was a time when I first started getting like my following got bigger, and that's when people have a lower scrutiny. They scrutinizing you higher, and here comes the Americans starting to try to be like, oh, you shouldn't round people. And then the minute my Bahamian audience tapped in and decided they like that, there was no longer any space. There was no space. It's not even safe in the comments for an American to come say something because all the Bahamians in the comments loving their life. Like, yes, we love this. And so that gives you, and because they can appreciate the Bahamianness of you on that level and communicating with them authentically in that space and being a Bahamian, they have a little bit more grace for all that other progressive shit you be talking about. Like, you know what? Guys, like, I think she's a smart gal, I like, what's she talking about? They, they just be like, oh my God, something. Like, I have Bahamian friends who be like, I know plenty about what happened with Eric Adams. Like, they listen, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know Rikers was pre-trial, I didn't know that. So, you have to learn how to do it. Yeah, but now there's a Bahamian in the comments. Somebody said that, yes, but he is.
Yeah, no, I saw them. Yeah, I'm actually teeming with fear because I don't know. You don't know.
You said your boyfriend is from the Bahamas, but they can't capitalize this T in the Bahamas. Nah, I gotta help you. I gotta help you. Gaps lock that T, so you love him.
Yeah, it's the Bahamas with a capital T, y'all. So if y'all in community with Bahamians and y'all like say Bahamas without the, honestly, like that's blasphemous.
Yeah, it's our thing. But yeah, we're sorry we made y'all conversation very Bahamian. We should.
No,
I think it's
there's nothing. Yeah,
interesting episode. No,
yeah, nothing to apologize for.
It's nice when Ben can shut up. I agree.
Look, there has been plenty an episode where Ole has sat here and gone, I have no fucking idea what's going on. So it is about time we had an Ole featured episode.
Blair. Thank you for saying that for me, because people would never acknowledge that.
I get it, because I sit here quiet too, and I'm like, I understand, so I'm happy. This was a good episode, y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we still gonna uncancel, or?
I think we're moving to featuring any kind of other creators that we like instead of doing a candle. Yeah.
I want to plug myself.
I was ready to cancel. I was ready to cancel the Bahamas. No, I'm just
oh Lord, Matt, you coming for it?
Nah, I'm the Bahamian Avenger. I am the Bahamian only escator. This was a private conversation amongst family. That's why we could say a little. No, I am still a Bahamian supremacist. I'm a Bahamian supremacist. I have a Bahamian flag on my balcony.
Oh no! Oh, I mean, you have to.
Big, huge, waving in the wind. What you mean, big Bahamian flag? What? I don't play with my Bahama line.
Pop your shit though, line, because you use the channel of the month of the year, maybe. Like yeah. Mm-hmm. What?
Let me show you let me send the link.
Your video today, Ole, was so good, but it made me outraged. Like, it pissed me off. I did not know all of this bullshit about Dave Portnoy.
I cut out like 10 minutes worth of shit about him. I'm not lying.
I had no idea.
I gotta check that out.
It's very good.
When she told me about him, I was just like, "Who the hell is Portnoy?"
Oh, so Foreign was my ghost guru on this episode, right? Me listening, taking YouTube notes, right? And so we had a whole back and forth because I had him like approving the thumbnail and stuff, and originally I had Portnoy on it, and Foreign is like, who the fuck is that? I mean, don't nobody know who that is. Don't have nobody. You put people that people know. I was like, I swear to God, Foreign, this is a famous man. I was like, Foreign, this is one of the leaders of white bro misogyny culture. He's like, but if you say that's true, but I know if I didn't.
I never seen this boy in my life.
And I was like, I ain't telling you, Foreign, I've been surrounded by the white people. He didn't know him.
Who is this nondescript white man? Like who is this?
He was I was like, you know what? I just gonna listen to you and take about the thumbnail because this Foreign.
I say,
he's like, please just put the white girl and the black girl that people
put the little white girl up inside there. Please put that. I mean, it's begging for it. Like I said, it need to be in the thumbnail. I go,
I put the link in the Leftist Mafia if someone want to put it in the YouTube chat for me.
I'll share it on mine too.
Yeah, so I'm plugging mine. But thank you. I'm glad you liked it, Mike. You saw I gave y'all Raheem.
Yeah, you gave us Raheem. You also, I love the way that you break it down because you were like, yeah, it's sports. They don't know about, women's basketball. I don't know about fucking women's basketball. So I'm like, okay, since she's on that level, I'll get it because I don't know shit about sports. I don't follow it. And so, yeah, like I saw the GIFs of like the girl doing the little gesture that people were freaking out about, but I didn't know the context for it. But yeah, after watching that, like, I hate white people. It's so insufferable. And like, I didn't really know about Dave Portnoy either. The only reason why I know about him is because he made headlines after Roe v. Wade was overturned because he was like the Republican who was against it. And so that's all that I know. But to go through like all of those fucked up things about him and how he had like the way you explained it, how he had the audacity to comment. Like, I don't want to spoil the video, but it's so fucking good. Just watch it, everyone. You're gonna be pissed.
Thank you. I really someone texted me today. One of my friends texted me and he was like, "Yo, did your 30 seconds? Why your 30 seconds? The first 30 seconds of that video had to go so hard." And I was like, "But it actually had to, because Foreign would have jumped me." Like, y'all don't understand. That first 30 seconds wasn't hype. Foreign was like, "I done tell you the homepage. That first 30 seconds got to be gripping. You could do what you want to do after that. But that first 30 seconds, I was like, Foreign, I can make that 30 seconds hype. I can send that to you separately."
She understood the assignment. That's all I can say. Because this shit knocked like.
Thank you. I really did put my back into it.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
I will check that out.
Yeah,
like, and it's so important because, like I was saying earlier, like the left, the bread tube is gonna like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson itself to death, and you see this, like a lot of these leftist figures, even Hassan, them, people whom I will not name because they're just that incendiary, but like a lot of these folks on these platforms, they just regurgitate the same points on the same people. And I mean, Jordan Peterson is a content farm. Let's not be real. That man is funny. He is comically unserious.
He's a lol cow for sure.
He's a lol cow. But like, the fact of the matter is just like, we are developing a taste. We call ourselves Cornbread too a lot of the time. Like, you talk about folks like me, talk about folks like FD Signifier, talk about folks like Andrewism, Shan Spear. If you want to talk about like the black femmes and women that are out here that been killing it, that probably started this commentary shit, like T. Noir, Khadija Umbo, and of course like Lindsay Ellis, who probably is like one of the people that founded the video essay space, that just happens to have leftist politics. We are creating and fostering a taste and an appetite for things that like our community doesn't even know that they have an appetite for. They've been force-fed Ben Shapiro, Peterson, all these things so much that I just did a video about how like traffic in the Bahamas, like this infrastructural racism that is baked in and structural violence that is baked in to just the very fabric of how like we drive in the Bahamas and how the traffic is used to beat you down and to have you subservient to the oppression. That is a very esoteric Bahamian topic that did numbers. It's at like what is over 80K. And it's a collaboration. Wow. I don't know, like if you know, like Not Just Bikes, big up Not Just Bikes. But he's like a transportation YouTuber from Amsterdam, and he talks about just like walkable cities, great stuff. And it's so beautiful to see something that is so niche, like talking about Bahamian traffic, do numbers that are very akin to when I talk about like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, just pearly things and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about that shit all the time. Like, and I don't think that I think the community is tired. Like, I think like the people that are watching us, they're tired of hearing about Trump. They're tired of hearing about the same this and that. There's so much more going around the world, and a lot of these discussions are very just monopolized by like North American perspectives. So when Alimi came on, and I was just like, Lord, thank you, Jesus. I say, there gotta be a God, and that God must be a black woman, because like she just giving me everything I want. Like, I say, cause listen, like Alimi just made a video about something that I'm not gonna see. I don't know if Hassan made anything on this. I don't know if I doubt Vosh can say anything about this shit. And if he does, it's gonna be us. Let's be real. So like, I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, Alimi in herself, in just a small amount of time, is talking about things, Eric Adams and whatnot, talking about things that you don't hear leftists talk about. And it expands the dialogue and reaches people that would not watch a Shapiro video. So we're talking about like the black audience and like how we're not making messages for them because we ain't talking about shit that we want to hear about.
Yeah.
If I go downtown right now, if I ask them and say, hey, did you see what Shapiro tweeted? No, they don't know.
Like, that's me every week. That's me the whole first 10 weeks of the show every week. Who is that? Who is that person? Who are they?
And that goes back to like what you were saying earlier about like this, like, are we seen as just like these arbiters of American leftism? And like, I have like purposefully tried to engage as much as I can with my culture. And that's like been very helpful for TikTok, because Bahamians, news alert, like they're not on YouTube. Like a lot of the black audience too, like the black audience isn't on YouTube, to be honest. They're not, we're not watching it. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're not on YouTube. So that's the reason why our audiences are very overwhelmingly white. But the fact of the matter is, like, I have been purposefully trying to get into the culture so that I'm not thinking in the lens of American leftism. I'm thinking to Saint Leo Overture. I'm thinking for Non, who is from Martinique. You always attribute him like to Black America, but that man is a Caribbean man. Thinking Richard, like, you see, like, there's thought leaders and there's processes outside of it. And like, I find that, like, at least my calling inside this whole space is to be as not American as possible. Like, to keep the accent, to make it dirtier even, to make you have to, like, listen to me at 0.5x speed in order to understand what I'm saying. I'm the same with Alimi. Like, she's talking about shit that, like, you're not gonna find on fucking Vosh or some shit like that. Right.
Yeah, I try to give a little Bahamian influences to my show, a little conch shell things that, like, Bahamians get immediately. Anytime Bahamians watch it, they text me like, oh, I appreciate that. Also, I didn't find my voters card, but I found my Grammys old voters card. So I'll show y'all that before we go.
Yeah, name on there.
Well, my Grammy is no longer with us, but y'all see how they look.
Boy,
okay.
Yeah, it says this card is issued to the person named herein and should be produced when voting at an election. This card is of no value to any other person, and if found, should be handed in at a police station, a government office, or returned to the parliamentary commissioner. The card is property of the government of the Bahamas and should be surrendered when no longer valid. And to have your address, your signature, your picture, your polling division, all So that's what they look like. So y'all got a little Bahamian. Y'all, this is y'all's Bahamian history episode.
Someone said that they thought I was doing a Chetang's accent. I coming to find you. What's your name? I ain't no way.
Okay, yeah, we have to let y'all people go to bed. We know David is very great. This is way past David.
No, it's all good. Just one last plug your channel.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's my big block.
Foreign channel is amazing. I particularly love his sassification in this new plantation video. Big fans. Like,
you really like that sassification?
I love that. I love the beginning of that sassification video. Like, show them the intro to the sassification video. I love it.
God.
I love it so much. Play the intro. It's so fire.
It's the third video of this.
Yeah.
Jesus, well.
War and hunt. Now they want to hold you accountable. We in a sassy man apocalypse, y'all.
What do y'all want from this?
FD signifier right there. Oh, because he was cursing so much, I couldn't even take it off.
You better hold. What do y'all want?
I'm tired of the sassy man era. Can y'all go back to building houses?
Okay, I shouldn't laugh. Because to somebody, this is serious.
I love calling men sassy. Their response be even more sassy. Like, girl, chill.
My big and me them woman them and man them. I have a question for you. Is it gay?
Why are you gay?
To have a child.
I can't watch myself.
International.
Okay, sorry.
Foreign is like, oh, but yes, I love foreign intros. I wanted y'all to see that, so that's why I love the sassification video. It's my fave. So wanted y'all to know this is my plug, my friend.
Oh my Lord.
And I got a plug foreign too. So I watched your video. I think it was the one about you were reacting to the thing we were all reacting to about Anna Kasparian's tweet. And there was a moment that was so unintentionally hilarious because you're like, okay, I tried to change it so I'm not like in the center so I could decenter myself. But then you flipped it so there were three of you on the screen. And it was so fucking unintentionally hilarious.
I was having basically a trans panel. And I was in the center, and I was just like, the problem with I literally said, the problem with these debates is that cis people center themselves. And my chat, which is a very volatile chat, it's a hostile work environment. Like, they're just literally like, Foreign, you're literally in the center. I'm like, fuck, okay, let me change it. So I'm switching it out. I'm switching it out on my deck. And I make like 5 of me. I'm just like, God damn. Technological systemic like oppression. And like everybody's just talking about it. Someone in my chat says there's 2 white trans people on here. You couldn't find 1 black trans woman. Really, Foreign? Like misogynoir Foreign. I'm just like, fuck all of y'all. I'm about to go just like straight Hassan and just be violent with my chat. Like, it's really crazy. But yeah. I got Foreign Fridays tomorrow where I go live. And I basically do, like, I'm gonna like make music. Like, you got my keyboard down here. I'm gonna talk a lot of shit. I'm probably gonna talk about Alimi's video on Trump because you know, like that's canon. I'm going to talk about this Tennessee shit because I didn't even know about that, but I'm just about to regurgitate the things that y'all said because y'all said some good things. And I don't have to come up with anything unique here because I think y'all did it for me. So thank you. I'm cheating off of the work. I'm going to change the language just a little bit. And and yeah, like, I mean, this is amazing. Like, I mean, between Leftist Mafia, the Surf Stem, there's like so much good content and propaganda, agitprop going out there. The agenda is in full effect. And, like, I love it. Like, it's so affirming to see just different representations of approaches to progressively moving this shit forward. Like, it's humbling. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on. This was a great episode. I enjoyed just sitting back, listening, learning.
Yeah.
Most Bahamian episode yet.
Thank y'all for sitting through this very heavily Bahamian dominated episode.
I loved it.
Thank y'all. All the fun.
Bye, the big body being here next week. The big body is always here. Maybe not in here, but the big body I can't take this off. I just built like this.
Big body forehead.
Big body forehead. All right.